Imagine this. It's the middle of a lockdown, and you're alone in your house, trying to pass the time. The world outside feels distant, almost unreal, but inside you're safe. Or so you think. Tonight's story takes us to Willow Creek House, where Rhea experienced something during quarantine that still haunts them to this day. It started with a noise, a faint, almost imperceptible sound that could easily be dismissed. But as the night wore on, that noise grew louder, more insistent, until it became impossible to ignore. What followed was a night of terror, a night that would change Rhea's life forever. This is not just a story, it's a warning, a reminder that sometimes the scariest things are closer than we think. So, sit back, turn down the lights, and let me take you to Willow Creek House, where the line between safety and danger blurred in the most horrifying way. Rhea was upstairs in her room, the glow of the TV casting flickering shadows on the walls. The quarantine had turned her home into a fortress, a place where she felt safe from the chaos outside. But that night, something felt off. She was deep into a video game, the volume turned up loud enough to drown out the silence of the empty house. That's when she heard it, a faint noise coming from downstairs. At first, she thought it was her imagination, a trick of the mind after hours of isolation. She muted the TV and listened closely. Nothing. Shaking off the unease, she resumed the game, but the noise returned an hour later, louder this time. It was unmistakable, a shuffling sound, like someone moving around in the basement. Her heart raced as she set the controller down, her mind racing through possibilities. Was it an animal, a pipe bursting, or something worse? To reassure herself, she decided to investigate. The stairs creaked under her weight as she descended, the air growing colder with each step. The basement door stood before her, its surface scratched and worn. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the doorknob, before pushing it open. A cold breeze hit her as she stepped inside, sending a shiver down her spine. The window was wide open, its curtains fluttering in the wind. She was certain she had closed and locked all the windows earlier. Panic began to set in, but something stopped her from running. Her eyes were drawn to the closet door, slightly ajar. She stood frozen, her breath shallow, as she debated whether to open it. The air was thick with tension, the silence deafening. And then she heard it, a faint, crackling sound coming from inside the closet. Rhea's hand trembled as she reached for the doorknob, her mind screaming at her to run. But curiosity, or perhaps dread, kept her rooted to the spot. She inched closer, her heart pounding in her chest, until her fingers brushed against the cold metal. The crackling sound grew louder, more distinct, like someone whispering just beyond the door. Her pulse quickened, her breath coming in short, shallow gasps. She turned the knob slowly, the hinges creaking as the door opened wider. Inside, the closet was dark, the faint glow from the basement light barely penetrating the shadows. She reached for the light switch, her fingers fumbling, but before she could flip it, the crackling sound erupted into a deafening roar. She stumbled back, her legs giving out as she fell to the floor. The sound was unlike anything she had ever heard, a guttural, inhuman noise that seemed to come from all around her. She scrambled to her feet, her instincts screaming at her to run, and bolted up the stairs, slamming the basement door shut behind her. The days that followed were a blur. Rhea couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, the memory of that night replaying in her mind like a nightmare. She installed new locks, security cameras, and motion sensors, but nothing could erase the fear that had taken root in her heart. She often wondered what would have happened if she had opened that door. Would she have survived? Or would she have become another tragic story, another victim of the quarantine intruder? Have you ever experienced something during quarantine that you couldn't explain? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Until next time, remember, stay safe, stay vigilant, and always trust your instincts, because sometimes the scariest things are right behind the door. The whispers fade into silence, leaving only the sound of the wind.